favored, and we're going to be going into the match right away. As we can see, Optic Gaming is going to be starting on that T side. The Daps has a set of nades going on, everyone else with the armor. On the other side, there's no kid in play from the CT, so they're banking on winning these duels before the bombs go down.
Yeah, and I would say, being trained, the AWPing presence from Fluffy Gangsters was actually exceptional on the map that we saw on Dust 2.
Yep.
Lacking from Optic, considering Mixwell even said, you know, this is one of the worst games I've personally ever had. So, hoping for him, he can come into this fresh, nice little play up through Ivy there, going to be trying to get the pressure going, and Robbo's already fallen. Patron now going to be pinched in on both sides, doesn't really have any safe place to wait. And I like this play from Optic so far. It seems well constructed, it seems well placed, and so far it's working pretty perfectly. He down to Roman and Little, and sadly Little was all the way over on B, but the flank has come through. He got one, but that's about all he's going to get here, and it's a really nicely constructed round from Optic.
Yeah, well, that was a classic. You send 3 alley, and you smoke off left side once you get through alley, and then you got, I think you had one coming through teammate, or maybe 2, and they had a little sandwich effect on yard, and the 1-by-1 floppy Gangsters went down. Optic picking that one up and then continuing on the sheet they had in the first match on Cobblestone on the T side as well. Let's see how they continue here. Fluffy Gangsters is seemingly putting a bit of an investment here. As does have a scout. He's going to connect with it as well right from the get-go. Mixwell going down to 31 HP with that AK hand rush. Has already made its way down the ladder as well. Getting some early information of if there's anyone pushed up. As we can see from the radar though, they are Fluffy Gangsters playing quite passively on the yard. Keeping the distance kind of high. So long, brother.
Alright. Let's go Fluffy Gangsters. Let's see what you can do here. Again, though, the thing with Optic is that one of their sides always seems fine, so I'm not going to read into it too much yet. Yeah. Again, a little bit of damage coming out already. Naf going to be dropped down. But the SMGs are doing the work. One rifle doing the work so far, though, would be Stanislaw with the AK, but down to Roman and Chopper, and, well, I don't know how much you can really do here. You could do a little bit of damage maybe, but at this point it's pretty much a solid round. Yes,
they would have been better off just trying to save this weapon, to be honest with you. Good job from Optic once again, utilizing grenades, smokes, molotovs and flashes properly as they pushed on yard. Doesn't matter, there was 4 people from Fluffy Gangsters there, but still when you use those smokes and flashes and you go together as a team, you play off each other, everything should be okay, and that's exactly what happened. It's going to be just Chopper left with 9 HP to just spawn with the CZ. Doesn't really have all too much he can hope for, except for maybe 1 extra kill. He has, I think, Daps coming his way. But Daps decides to just fall back and not do anything about it.
Okay, so as you said, it might have been worthwhile maybe keeping on to that scout then.
Yeah,
could have maybe done a little bit more. As I said, you know, this round is pretty much done. You know, you're not going to get too much achieved. Although, then again, Optic did some weird stuff on Cobble. But so far, they seem to have their heads in the right place. So you can imagine the Daps and Mixwell with one leading the way for the T side here. They still are retaining those SMGs, so they can just go and wreak havoc. And well, Naf's going to just pile straight out towards A. Pick up a quick kill towards Chopper, and he was the one with the CZ, if I'm not mistaken. So now that's kind of lost to the gods. But Robbo quickly makes a bit of a mad dash, grabs it back to hand. But this is pretty much Daps now coming into the matter too, and well, that Mac 10's having a great time at this point.
But CZ though, close range, it can be a deadly weapon for sure. It's only going to be El Patron left. I guess 4, but he's not going to be able to do much. Right now about the nade, and now we finally go into that first weapon round. Let's see what the Fluffsters buy.
Fluffsters?
Yeah.
Is that it?
I don't know.
Fluffers, huh? That's an interesting way of...
Fluffies.
Fluffies.
I mean, come on, you're Fluffy Gangsters, you have a panda as your logo. Anything goes.
Sticker, man. Just think of the stickers.
A little with an uphill. He does not have a lot of... Yeah, the lack of grenades is massive here.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious how this goes, because Mixwell had a really poor game before, and this is such a map that can really do well for AWPers, so Mixwell needs to make a good impression here. Little, what an insane play on Dust 2 as well from him, so this is going to be a curious little head-to-head between these two. So we'll have to wait and see if that actually comes through in the end. At the moment, just kind of like toying with each other down by Ivy, but no one going to make a play out of it, and already Daps keeping onto that SMG, maybe just looking to be a bit of a nuisance and see what he can do going forward.
Yeah, Optic Gaming just building some ground. They have taken over towards the inner bomb site to be able to make it execute towards that bomb site or fake it. Daps here working its way through. You know, the bomb's still very close to team main, so right now, from the looks of things, it might be a split to that yard. But it all depends on where they move the bomb. Mixwell here, still just chilling around. And Rush has made his way down ladder, so see how that works out for him.
Fluffy Gangsters still with very limited economy here. They're down to what, the Molotov, flashbang, and a nade. It's not exactly ideal. And look how much the T-side still has in their pockets here. Those mollies can speed up these side takes pretty quickly, so Little's going to be having to wait here in a bit of a predicament. He's seen them coming through, but the timing's a little off. Now they're already out by train 1, so how much impact can this man have? Absolutely instrumental in Dust 2, but this one's already been backed away. He can't actually withstand this fight. Already the T-side are actually making their presence pretty well known on A.
That's interesting. 5-on-5 afterplan situation. We don't get to see this too often, especially on train. Usually there's at least a kill a piece coming before something happens, but now we have the kills coming, and Nafly opens up the chopper. That's the retake is in all full fruition, but he's getting denied by everyone on Optic. Only Roman a little left right now. And you definitely need to try to get the numbers in your favor on the CT side before the bomb gets planted, because there's so many little angles that you can utilize in the after plant as the T side. And if you play off of each other, it's close to impossible to try to defuse that bomb as a CT.
It really isn't. And Little's just being chased down. This.
Look
Look at this guy. He's actually such a beast at this. He's managed to stay alive so far. I don't know if he's going to be able to get away completely. Standstill trying to bait out, but he's just being the one-man band at the moment. Sure, it doesn't win them around, but he keeps the AWP into play, so he can still definitely have presence into these later rounds. But again, they kind of just went, okay, we'll forego the site hold. They didn't make any initial impact there for the CT side, at least as the T side come through. But you said it pretty clearly that retaking on that site isn't particularly easy, especially in a 5-on-5. It's not exactly ideal, to say the least.
No, and when you don't have any utility to work with either. Like, you don't have any flashes really. I don't think they had any grenades really left anymore, so super hard to make that happen. Now it's just going to be on Little with that up, and he's trying to gain control here in alley, but they are, I think that's going to be Stanislav towards the team main, just watching that angle, but Little's going to be pre-aiming that train. He already spotted the hand though, Stanislav. Not sure if he was, Stanislav was aware of this fact. There's a pop flash, now there's 2 in alley. Roman also coming into play here.
Well, I guess they know at least where that AWP is. They found out a little bit of the information. Again, you have to go for what you're given when you only have 1 AWP and a couple of deagles, 5-7s in play, not too much to be worked with for the CT side. They've gone for a little bit of a stack towards B, I guess. Robbo, Patron, and Chopper all lined up here. And so far, the T side might actually be considering this.
Yeah, but it's fine though. If they use the grenades once again effectively, they should be fine. And if they check where Robo is right now, because he could be that changing player. But oh, he gets one. Little comes in as well with an AWP. So now it becomes a 4-on-2 situation. Make it a it's a 4-on-2 situation right now with just Nafly Daps left. The bomb is down in the bomb side too. So that's all play for here for the CTs. But Nafly and Z connector, he's gonna get one. He might be able to get another on Roman, but I think it's getting sandwiched.
This is kind of worrying, but now the last 2 players for the CT side didn't recover the weapons. They were further back, so they don't quite have the firepower, but tell a lie. Chopper's found Little Zorp, so that's now back into play. This could still be interesting. Bomb's still down at B. I assume Chopper's seen that, and Roman's going on the long rotate. Maybe actually not seeing it has meant that Roman's gone on a bit of a walkabout, but Chopper's now going to find out exactly where that bomb was.
Yeah, and neither of them will hear the bomb getting planted. Chopper actually making his way to yard. Are they just giving up on this? No, they're just not recognizing that the bomb gets planted inside at first. Well, they finally do. But them not having... Well, they do have a kit, by the way. They do. But they don't have armors, do they? So it's still going to be a tough one for them to try to retake.
Yeah, not going to be particularly easy. And Daps is hanging around on this. Naf's pulled himself back in just in case. And they got reminded this is going to be a little bit trickier than they first imagined. They do have the bomb down now. The clock is starting to tick. And Chopper's starting to consider maybe that AWP is... more useful down the line, and Naf is just going to feed. All right, nice one, Naf. Just give him some kills. Not sure that was the best of plans to come dancing through the smoke, but still, the bomb plant, the round is won in the end for Optic. But that was a bit of a grind, and it just seemed they lost all firepower once they made it down to the site. A couple of individual 1v1s started to appear, and they actually got punished for that by Fluffy Gangsters, who are back on the buy now. Yeah,
I mean, it was Robo near the bomb site with the P250, and then Little coming in with the AWP. They managed to make a 2-for-1 trade. So that kind of stopped the push from Optic. And Fluffy Gangsters had their opportunity, but it's still going to be Optic with the 5th round on the board. Finally, we're going to get a buy, another buy from Fluffy. And seemingly they're going to be having sort of a default kind of a CT setup here. Except for the fact a Little, right now it's going to be pushing into the upper ramp. Shot decides to fall back though, off of that Molotov.
Not surprised he actually missed that shot. I haven't seen him miss many shots. That's the thing. The guy's been a bit of a monster. But maybe he only hits like the ridiculously hard shots. You know what I mean? He misses the standard ones and it just only goes off in like a 1v3
that wouldn't be good, though.
No, it's not what you want, but you never know. It could be one of those days. But let's see what we have here. Looking at the hold towards A as well, coming out from the Fluffy Gangsters, extremely passive. They're giving up a lot of these angles. You have no one down by Ivy particularly. Roman's sitting pretty far back.
Yeah,
Patron's playing by site. It's not too uncommon at this point, but I'm starting to get used to teams pushing up by main, pushing up by pop. But these guys are pretty passive now.
It's weird. I would like to see them apply pressure towards the pop or T main. It is, I feel like, the better choice of the two, because especially against a team like Optic that likes to execute heavily, you want to interrupt with it before it really happens.
And look at the kind of case in point here. They have no information that actually no one's followed those smokes out because no one was pushed up. So Little actually pushed himself towards A, but now the lineup's coming over towards B. You've got pretty much every single player from the T side looking to make a quick hit here. So Chopper and Little gonna rotate back around. Little needs to be landing these shots and he misses it, and that was a vital one. Now Chopper's under pressure left, right and center. Little's gonna make up for it, but a little too late. And now 4v3, the T side don't have the advantage and Little's getting back into it. He may not hit the easy ones, but now he's starting to warm up here. Bomb's gonna be put down though. Unless Mixwell gets pressured here, and actually Little's going for this, and he's not done yet. What a sit round again from this man. Every single time. He misses the sitter, then comes back even stronger with the 4K.
Yeah, and Chopper, being the lone warrior in inner bomb side, only gets 1 kill, but manages to keep that attack at bay for a while with Molotov coming in. And Little obviously just chiming into it and getting all these kills. It demolishes the attack, and that's going to be the first round going the way of Fluffy Gangsters. Sitting at 1-5. Now it's the situation where they need to start stringing these rounds together. The economy for Optic is not that pretty, actually, because it's been, you know, they've lost some members, especially in that anti-eco round and so forth, so they've not been super clear-cut rounds. So if Fluffy Gangsters manages to string some rounds together, they may be able to force an eco from Optic.
And this is a very different start for Optic too. They're playing super far back. Maybe expecting finally some aggression to come out from the City side.
Yeah, they're setting up for those other smokes. They're going to be creating a wall of smokes here, isolating the front of yard from the bomb site. Trying to force a plant right away. Robo has made his way towards this
Chopper
tower.
instantly on the rotate.
Exactly, yeah, and he's going to be able to catch Rush. He gets that first kill. It's going to be one trade though. That's with them Molotov. Just see the legs. DCD coming up on ladder, but El Patron here still fighting.
They're all depending on Stan to hold the back as well, and he's doing just fine at that. Patron's going to be found, and now down to a 2v3, but Little's still alive, and there's still something to be seen about this man. Maybe not on the rifle. That's what happens when you try and go for a rifle. You're not allowed to do anything with it. Stan holds the back, and Optic regain control. And again, these sort of hits are working very well. You coined it actually earlier on. The Optic do like these default kind of, not defaults, but executes. Very structured rounds.
You want to interrupt with that. If you decide, make them uncomfortable by playing aggressively. You have to be up close towards the 6 and the 5 train or the ladder room, and just be preserve with your, just be smart about your grenades, your molotovs, your smokes. You can, once you start seeing the smokes come raining in, that's when you use your own smokes towards the team main or the molotov, depending what you have at your disposal. But instead they decide to fall back and kind of let Optic have all that room, and that's exactly what they want you to do. It's Fluffy Gangsters are not having a great time of dealing with this situation, and Mixwell already opening things up with that first kill.
It looks like they have tried to find some aggression here, pushing a little closer. You've got Robo trying to play a little closer to kind of team main. You've got Throne pushed up by Electric. They're trying it, but then conceding the first pick there towards Roman going down and Mixwell finding it, it's kind of make it a bit of a struggle, and you can see them trying to find a way back through to it. But Little is going to be dedicated down by Ivy, so he needs to be quite cautious too. Again, this is not a fun spot to play, but the lives of Robo and El Patron depend on it, and he's going to come up with the goods. Mixwell goes down, and that's the 1-for-1 trade out, but you can see the instant response. Naf and Rush want to apply pressure, but Daps and Stanislaw are still playing pretty slow in this one. Robo's holding down by teammate. As said, he just turns away at the wrong time. The pressure being applied perfectly, but Little almost lines up two. He finds one out of those, almost goes for the follow-up down towards Pop, but support now arrives in the form of Chopper, but there goes Little, and you've got the 3 players alive again for Optic here. The timing there on these plays from them has been pretty spot on, but Chopper's in a bit of a tricky spot here. 2 mollies as well with Optic to clear out.
Yeah, and not much he could do really. I think this is going to be a tactical pause for them as well. But yeah, good reaction from Optic. They're obviously unlucky timing for the CT playing up close to his T main. But once he went down, the players in alley just reacting. Here we see Little actually connect on both players.
Yeah,
but
Rush 14 HP.
Exactly. He's not going to be able to make that double happen. That could have been the difference maker in that round. But Fluffy boys are having a bit of a tough time here so far, dealing with the attacks from Optic. They need to be. I just want to see them more aggressive. That's the name of the game. Towards the team main and ladder.
Yeah, I hope that you'd assume that that's the conclusion they come to from this as well. Because sometimes it's very hard to see all of that when you're in the game, but it's a very clear response to kind of set play. So I'm hoping that... I'm not actually too sure who the in-game leader is for these guys, so I'd actually quite like to find out who's kind of calling the shots for them, because it'd be an interesting read to see how they approach this now, and how does Optic adjust, or do they adjust? They don't particularly need to, but then maybe you'll start assuming they'll be aggressive. We'll see what they go for. Maybe Optic just going to throw out a curveball. Again, they're coming into this round with absolutely no worries anyway, considering they've got the 2 Mac 10s and a full set of nades to clear out any corners with. But we did see at least Robbo doing some damage over by B when they went for that play off the back of it previously, so there's still stuff to be seen here, and Optic know that you can still pick up pistol rounds even if you, you know what I mean? They certainly did the work with that. So
and don't change the winning formula.
No. Keep doing it till it doesn't work.
Exactly. Just keep plowing at it. That's going to be Dabs opening up with Rush as well, and they are just plowing into this outer bomb site right now. Like flies, our FLG going down 1 by 1. That's going to be clean and easy and simple. That's going to be some bank coming in Optic's way, actually. That's going to make things a little bit easier for them, and as we can see, Fluffy Gangsters still, their economy is still not pretty. There's UMP in play from Moss, and a lack of, well, diffuse kits and utility. It's noticeable. That makes it that much harder. So you decide off train, you want to have those choke points Molotovs or smoked off once the attack comes in to make it less comfortable for the T side.
But let's see how they now approach this, because we wanted to see a little more aggression, a little bit closer play, and that's seemingly what they're going for. Little, Patron, Robo all pushing up here. Roman's just going to be pretty much locking down Ivy as much as he can, pretty passively, but Patron gets a little caught out. They're not expecting Dash, but the double peek deals with him comfortably. Now down to a 5v4, they finally have the advantage, expecting a flex from another angle throughout this map, and they're not wrong to be feeling so. There was a little bit of a closer push down towards Ivy as well, so Roman better be ready for this one, because Rush and Naf are looking like they want to get into this.
Yeah, that's a good opening finally for Fluffy Gangsters. Daps wasn't really ready for it. He was expecting some of the push, but wasn't expecting to get pushed by 2 players from different angles. He gets taken out, and that's going to be the in-game leader of Optic going down. Now the rest of his team just holding right now, just waiting for any further aggression from the CTs, but smartly so. Right now, they are not really giving much. And Optic is going to make their way through alley with 2 players again. And you have 1 in teammate, 1 out ladder. That's going to be a standstill up right now. That E-box, and man opens things up in alley. It's going to be a good hold for them. And now it's all up to Stanislav, really just trying to make a play. He's going to get one on the Robo, but doesn't know there's a player in City's tower, but Mixwell does. He's going to get that kill. And all of a sudden, the situation becomes a 3-on-3.
Fell back to a default, and they've been punished for this, FLG. They are not having a good time at this point. Now bomb planted. Again, Mixwell, Stanislaw, and Naf still alive. Roman's got a good step at this, down by the back of Ivy, but Naf's going to be keeping tabs on that one. The push-up's not going to be too comfortable, and Little still smoked out. So, again, limited options here for the CT side, but they kind of need to go for some of these at some point. They're 1 to 8 right now, and Naf's going to be trading out, but actually Roman just picks up the clean kill. Chopper's found Stanislaw, and now Mixwell being pressured. Now he needs to come up with a bit of a performance here. He does find Little at least, and now 1v2, can't take the fight, and the defuse comes in. Very well played in the end from FLG, but just finding individual fights there. None of those crossfires seem to hold up.
Exactly, and well, in the end, FLG picking that one up. It's an important one. They managed to stay alive with 2 at least, but still a lot of pressure on them. Their economy stopped pretty going further. If they get reset at this point in time, it's going to be going horribly wrong for them on the CT side. But that early aggression toward the T main eventually paying off dividends. Let's see what their approach is going to be going further. Seems like it's going to be more aggressive. Robo's making his way towards the ladder. But in the meanwhile, Optic Gaming has decided to approach towards the inner bomb side more. Pretty much all of their team right now just playing towards there.
And this one's got decent, not necessarily an idea, he's not particularly seen anything that's given it away, but he's got himself a good position and actually not going for that instant peek up top, which wasn't really paying out much. See how he approaches this one. He does need to at least probably hit 1 on the way down, and I'll assume he'll do... Again, He misses these shots. And that one, this is really quite strange. He'll end up landing like 4 of the most ridiculous ones, but the setup's not so much, but it's Chopper this time to deal with the 2 who did start the playthrough from upper. Now Stan, Mixwell, and Naf have to consider their options. They're kind of running out of ways to approach this with such a disadvantage, and they've gone back towards A.
Exactly, and you know, the smoke's left, so it's going to be the raw fire part right now. That fly is on a manhunt here. Going to quad, it's going to find Patron, it's not. Well, he does find him, but doesn't get the kill, does he? Robo's still up here in tower. It's going to get 1, but not 2. The Roman with the cleanup, and that's going to be a round going the way of Fluffy Gangsters with 4 alive as well. It's going to be 2 in a row for them, so they dodged that possibility of getting reset. to still have a chance at this.
You can thank Chopper for that too. He actually played incredibly calm, considering if you're sitting there listening saying, or hearing Little saying, yeah, there's 2 pushing. I haven't hit either of them. Have fun on the bomb site. It's just like, oh, well, I'm probably dead, but nicely done by Chopper to be able to deal with that. But again, Optic still have plenty of money to work with in this, and back on the big buy. But I'm still wondering where Mixwell is. This guy was so outstanding before. He's having such a, not a mediocre game, but for him and the kind of, like, I guess, amount I hold him to, this is a little bit weary. But still, Patron's going on a bit of a walk up here. Going to spot out Stan. Doesn't actually land the shot. He needs to be careful now as Mixwell is down by team main. Robbo's going to be having to try and hold by Pop. Rush there as well. So again, trying this kind of aggressive start. Generally, once they get the pick, they sit back towards a default play, which worked just fine before. But let's see if Optic are now aware of this.
Yeah, it becomes a waiting game right now of our game of chicken, I guess. Who's going to be pulling the trigger first? So here on top of 6 string, he does pick, well, doesn't pick up Rush. It seems like he should have. It seems like it's going to be Molotov by Mixwell. Why not? Robo's still alive here, though. He's going to be able to get that retaliation kill, but now fly ready in alley as well for Roman to make it a 4-on-3. So it's definitely heavily favoring Optic.
Optic are just seemingly so kind of in charge of how these rounds are going down at the moment. Even if Fluffy Gangsters do try and get a bit of an aggression going, it just seems to be pulled apart. So now Robbo and Little basically need to hold this themselves, and even with 3 players on the site, it's difficult, let alone 2, and now you can see as to why. So many angles, so many lines of sight come into play, and they just get absolutely shut out. And there you go. Final one comes for Naf there, and
it feels to me like it's like a house of cards that starts just falling apart for Fluffy Gangsters. Seriously. I mean, it's first it's like, yeah, it's looking good, and then just by piece, they crumble under pressure towards the end of the round, and it's going to be Optic picking one more round, but still money on Fluffy Gangster's side. They have an op on Little, but it's easy on Roman. Famas in play 1 and 4. They are fully invested into this one. Let's see if Optic can make it into double digits in the first half. On T side of train, nonetheless.
Yeah, I've argued mildly this is becoming more T-sided-ish, but not quite to this caliber. At least when you watch teams like Na'Vi, it certainly feels as such. But Na'Vi a little different.
It goes back and forth. It's always it's a matter of one team finding something new and another team countering that thing. But that's going to be a little with the double. Somehow, the timing just works in his favor massively. He, yeah, you could say he gets lucky there.
That was absolute luck, but it seems to come into Little's favor a hell of a lot. But now the rest of FLG can just like build off the back of that. This should be a closed down round, but Optic is going to still try a little bit of something here. Dabs takes a little wander towards B, but doesn't find much out as Chopper sat back a little further, playing quite cautiously. Little's going to rotate over, but now down to this 2v2, pretty much an even trade out, if it in theory comes to it. But Roman's just down to the CZ, but he still spots out Rush, gets a good tag, but just gets caught in the end.
Yeah, that's just stupidity, to be honest with you. 4-on-2 situation. Fall back, let the 2 remaining turrets make the play, and then you react. You don't need to get the information because you have the manpower. Now instead, it's still doable for Optic Gaming. Dabs and Rush can do this. They're going to be making their way towards the inner bomb site. Dabs already on the bomb site. And he's going to try to plant the bomb. Chopper very close on lower ramp. He's going to get that one on the rush. Now Dabs obviously knows where it is, but he's going to be surrounded by 3 players. And taken down by Little as well. So that's a round going the way of FLG.
Get themselves back into this slowly but surely, and to be fair, after the kind of questionable choice they made of kind of being caught out there at one point, it did start to look a little bit scary when you see the 2 players. You're going to take pretty much a 2v1 fight until Little was able to get over there quickly enough. But scoreline-wise, I guess like a 5-10 sort of thing would have been awful, but it's still not great for FLG.
No, I mean, when you're Optic, this is a comfortable situation to be in. There's not a comfortable scoreline that Fluffy Gangsters can even make out of this anymore. It's always going to be an uphill battle for them. But, well, we all know what happened with Optic on the side of Cobblestone previously, so it's never over until it's over. As Little starts things off with the kill on the Dabs, it's going to be a full-on rush here from Optic. They've made their way towards Quad already. Stanislav somehow wins that duel against Roman. Seems like the longest spray of the year. Little still in the play, and his kills going back and forth. Becomes a 3-on-2 situation, making it 3-on-1.
It's just Little.
Yeah, Little too much for me.
The thing, this guy is literally just solo carry. How much of the rest of FG paid for this sort of carry? Because finally Patron finds one, but my god. 4 kills again.
Yeah,
I'd love to see if someone could work out the stat or even be bothered to go back and find out you know, how many kills he got in the rounds they won, like the actual impact out of the rounds he's done damage in. I'd love to see that because this guy is doing some ridiculous work.
Obviously needs to be a little bit more consistent with the easy shots. That's something you always want to make sure you hit 100% of those kind of shots, but the flashy plays are definitely there for him. And he's been a huge factor with 18 frags in this first half as his team is sitting at five rounds total. Now, this is going to be a full-on force buy for Optic in the last round. They have 4 Tech 9s, 1 AK in play. Seems like 3 players just rushing in alley. It's going to be an early trade-off coming in. And they've gone out of alley already.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty pressured now for FLG. They've got angles that they can't really cover anymore. Little's come here to try and save the day, but everyone's so low. This is going to be pretty darn tough, but actually Robbo finds a nice position, even though he was a little worse for wear, but still Little operates as well as he can, leaving just Daps alive in another 1v3. Patron, 8 HP, Little 4, and Chopper 100. So this is certainly possible, but Chopper's on the front lines and Patron finds the angle. So we'll be seeing the scoreline looking maybe not so bad for Fluffy Gangsters, but guys, we won't be jumping straight into the second half. We're going to go to a very short break, but when we're back, we'll be kicking back off with second half. So welcome back. We are getting ourselves prepared for the second half of the map is live. So let's dive into it, not waste any time. Optic are in the lead, 9-6, with an extremely strong start. But I would say Fluffy Gangsters turned up. No, it was merely just Little, with that all being absolutely obscene. But we are into underway. So what do we see so far? It looks like a standardized B hit with the molly to follow.
Yes, and they have the raid boss. Patron has Tech 9 armor. Chopper, Patron making the first 2 into the bomb site, and they will get it because there's a very passive hold from Optic. Paying a lot of respect for the Glock to close range, and as you can see right now, Fluffy Gangsters just pushing in, and that's exactly what you need to do as well to be able to hold off the retake in CTs, but it's going to be Daps with the opening kill. In before FLG with the 3 of their own. Make it 4. Now it's only Naf, but what a nice headshot from Naf. Still got 2 to play against Robo and Little. 2 very different angles as well, so Naf needs to try to make these into 2 individual one-on-ones. He might be able to do that, but it's going to be Robo to pick up the 5th kill for Fluffy Gangsters of the round. And the more, well, very important pistol round for Fluffy Gangsters.
And Naf was the pistol king in that, in that Cobble game, the infamous Cobble game. He was the one doing the damage. So, you can't write him out just yet. But
And the shotgun king.
Oh, don't! I've just like erased that from my memory because it just upsets me so much. It's just the triggering happens. But yeah, Fluffy Gangsters giving themselves a bit of a lifeline here. Being able to build back into this is perfect. So hopefully they're able to keep this one going. I'll have to wait and see if maybe Optic again just kind of, let's say, messed the bed on the second half as they did in their previous game. Shush you. And well, this is looking similar, which is kind of worrying, but let's see if they can keep this going. FLG have a chance here. They've got a lot of rifles as well, but they've just lost one.
This is very interesting from Fluffy Gangsters. They're just running in right now, but, well, they will find a free bomb site. But still, little HP is very, very little. So that could be an issue. At the same time, though, it's not a super heavy investment from Optic Gaming. They have an AK on Stanislav. I wonder why it's on him, because he's low on HP as well. Chopper on a kill to Nafly. Make things alleviating the pressure a little bit, but it's going to be Patron going down by Daps. Still 3-on-3. No kid in play, though, so the kills need to come really fast if Optic wants to be a part of this round, but this is the moment in time where you probably should be saving your weapons, and I think that's exactly what's happening. Daps is going to get just killed by little because he has no idea there's a player in connector.
Yeah, and Stan already got the hell out of there anyway. He got himself a rifle pretty early on, so you can't really blame him. And actually, he might be able to cost them a little more money, considering there was a lot of rifles up on the plate. Chopper didn't walk into him. In the end, Stan did end up sitting back. So there is a technical pause coming in. As Dap's having a couple of issues sound-wise, so he needs to make sure they're resolved, so he's good going forward. Wondering if the no talking rule is still going on. I assume so.
It should be.
Yeah. Yeah, Optic look very quiet. See if, yeah. I'm always curious to see if the other... does the other team have to be quiet? Yeah, they have to then.
Yeah, I think both have to, but I think it's you know, I don't think the players really, like, it's going to take a little while before it becomes...
used to, yeah.
Become used to it, but... So the admins need to be taking care of it for a little while, so people remind them of the fact that
around just like
no
talking. Back of the head, just
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, give them a little shock.
But speaking of little shock, he's got himself on an all patchy coming into this round, so that should be interesting. Should be fun.
Yeah,
we'll see.
A little interesting by Fluffy Gangster in the second round, though.
They just kind of ran at the sides.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not a great fan. I want to see more calculated decision making. Yeah, I mean, they ended up only losing 2 players, so, you know, no that big of a harm done, but still, the risk is always there when you're just plowing the bomb sites. I want to see proper usage of grenades in those situations, because that's just going to make it that much easier. It's already been proven to be the best way to deal with anti-ecos right now. Obviously, that might change. You know, the great thing about Counter-Strike is that it keeps evolving all the time. Teams find new way of countering things that other teams come up with. That's what we call the development of the metagame.
Thank you for that lesson.
You're welcome.
Natu.
You're welcome.
He just gives us a little, you know, trip down Natu lane. Great. But yeah, this should be back underway soon, I hope. I wonder what Daps has done to break his headset instantly. Well, it must be the in-ears, to be fair. So.
Yeah, those can break quite easily, actually.
Yeah, I break my Sennheisers like once a week, I'm almost certain. Hashtag not a sponsored shout out, because they wouldn't probably enjoy that. So, you know,
yeah.
Oh, Graham's fixing things. That's Graham on the stage, ladies and gentlemen, known as Delayham as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a beautiful nickname.
That was given by, I think, Astralis.
Okay. Why?
Because he causes delays. So it does make me giggle. That's him again.
Okay.
Hi, Graham. Graham, can you hear us? No, he's ignoring.
Let him focus on what he's actually doing, so we can get on with the game.
He's plugging it in a headset. It's not that hard. You'd hope, at least.
Yeah, you
He's
never
actually
know.
fixing like the motherboard or something.
Yeah. He's shouldering something there.
Get back to work, ignore me, Graham. I'm just an idiot. I feel really guilty. I don't feel guilty. It's only Graham. It's fine.
But yeah, it's gonna be interesting now to see. I mean, obviously, what happened last night with Optic on the city side. You know, if they lose the first weapon round, it's, you know, they could be feeling those flashbacks from what happened yesterday.
And it is a real thing, mental game like that. You look at
yeah.
Liquid, I hate to say it, you know, they're the easy go-to in this sort of thing, but it is a mental game.
That's why you need to have either a coach or you have personality in the team that is good at like keeping people at bay, keeping them in check, you know, mentally. The dynamic, that kind of dynamic that nobody sees from the outside of the team. That makes a huge difference in terms of how you deal with struggles, how do you deal with all the X on X situations after you let's say you do a default and then it becomes like a 3-on-4 situation. You know, it's all down to the dynamic within the team. How is that going to play out? Yeah. How does the players deal with those situations?
And openly, I think Optic were looking for a coach, so they're still having to kind of deal with the fact that they don't actually have anyone behind them to kind of create that atmosphere. And clearly there was some issues with the roster before. So coming out of that, hopefully Mixwell's being able to bring it down. He does seem like an incredibly kind of matured player, the way he approaches games and his attitude towards it. So that's always going to be quite interesting to see how he mixes with the others, how he brings across maybe that EU mentality, quote unquote, if that does apply at all. But yeah, a coach would be interesting. And again, I'm surprised they're struggling to find someone, but they were saying actually at Pro League, it's actually incredibly hard to find someone who doesn't want like ridiculous money or who's just qualified to be able to do it and has dedication towards it.
Yeah, it's a tough job. I mean, it's something you basically spending all the amount of time that the team is practicing plus more.
Yeah, because you have to do all the research and kind of prep behind it. Yeah,
it's full commitment. In my opinion, you basically need a coaching team behind it. Not only one coach, but also someone else to be the analytical coach who reviews the demos, gives you the rundowns and something you can apply in gameplay. And then you have someone as sort of like a head coach figure who's good at like the kind of hands-on coaching.
Yeah. So who do you think's got the best setup right now out of teams? Let's say just outside of obviously just this, but
well, I'm not really sure how many teams have like an actual coaching staff so that they have someone.
I don't know about a full staff. That's the thing. Obviously, that a good couple of teams have a guy behind them. They probably have some support, but it's like as you said, the full coaching.
Yeah, it all depends. It all depends on the dynamic of the team. I mean, if like let's say Navi for example, Starix is their in-game leader, but they have also Zeus in there, who is a previous in-game leader who can take the reins when need be, and he can react on situations appropriately within the game, because there are things you cannot really call from outside because it's a lot about feel and a lot about intuition and instinct. So that kind of dynamic is just good that they have, but there are teams that don't have that kind of leadership, and they will need to have that coach that is super hands-on. It's basically just like playing a game of chess, just moving little figures left and right, or having like strings you can pull the players.
The puppeteer.
Yeah, the puppeteer. Yeah, exactly. So it all depends on the dynamic, really.
It's kind of hard to find out about the dynamic as well, because you don't normally hear about the stuff behind the coach as well, because I think it's Dota, they allow a lot more to be seen or known about, at least from Valve side towards majors. Like I know they have a lot more people flown out for the teams, but I'm kind of curious in CS how that kind of develops as well down the line. Will they still allow people to be on the PC behind? So that's not been particularly liked either. So it's like I think actually while we're on this topic, we've just had information this might be a longer break than expected, because as you can see, Dap still has his headset off, so we don't want to rush the players because of us or anything like that. We want to give them as much time as needed to get things sorted out. So we're going to carry on talking about coaching off air, so you don't get any fun information. Haha, get wrecked. Nice, nice. Bam. All right, guys, we're going to go to a short break. When we're back, hopefully all the issues will be resolved, and we'll see you then. So, welcome back, ladies and gents. It was a little bit of an extended pause there. Hopefully all is fixed. It looks like everything is good right now. I
Fingers
think
crossed.
they just need
Knock
to...
somebody.
Yeah, exactly. Just knock my skull at this point. 8 to 9, Optic are still in the lead at least. And we are back underway. Stan, just to refresh your memories, did keep hold of the rifle. They managed to do a fair bit of damage in that prior round.
And he spot an armor as well.
And exactly, he's just supported that a little bit. Why not, I guess, at this point. But then again, Little's found himself an AWP. Well, bought himself an AWP, should I say. We've seen what that man can achieve on that CT side already.
G making their way to the other bomb side, but it's going to be an fly with the Deagle once again. Feels like I've seen this movie before, but the bomb gets planted. It's a 4-on-4 situation. Daps playing around the smoke. He does notice Roman, but only managed to make very little damage. Now it becomes a very tough one for Optic to do much about it, so Stanislav needs to be the man to make some work, but just as I say that though, Little's going to dispose of him.
Yeah, and this was not done just yet as well. Look at this guy. He's just having a whale of a time, just lining them up, knocking them down. Down to Mixwell, just a P250. And he's going to Patrak to find him. So, all in all, not an awful round. Going for the T-side, relatively clean. Kept enough on the board. They could easily drop out Robbo if needed. So, all is well. But we're going to finally see the buy-up going in for the CTs.
Yeah, well, the first hurdle comes in. The first weapon round. Let's see if Optic can answer now. It is a 9-9 scoreline. All the play for here. Optic obviously picking up those 9 rounds on the T side. They haven't picked up one here on the CT yet. And yesterday we saw them struggle on the CT side massively. It's going to be a more aggressive approach from them compared to a Fluffy Gangsters straight from the get-go, as we can see Stanislav here towards the ladder room, and this is exactly what I wanted to Fluffy Gangsters to do as well.
Yeah, Mixwell's responding really nicely to what Fluffy Gangsters are trying to do. He has to land the shots, which he actually is. A little more consistently, I guess you could argue, than actually Little was doing, but now the flashy stuff has to come in. He's doing just well on that aspect too. But Chopper's on the flank. He's on a long flank as well. That could be massive, assuming that Little and Roman can slow them down enough for him to become effective. And Roman has a lot of fire coming in. Naf's the one to catch him. And now Chopper, what can you do? You have the world at your feet. And a lot of bullets now turned, or at least guns turned your way, so this is going to become a little more hard. And it looks like Rush is actually going on the defuse here, so that could add insult to injury, and it does. Chopper does some damage, but it's not good enough. The bomb gets defused. And sadly for, well, Fluffy Gangster, they just didn't manage to actually get back into that.
Yeah, it's such another great example of if you don't manage to be able to push all the way down on the inner bomb side for the effort plan situation, it's so hard to hold off the CTs once they're retaking, especially when they're down in numbers like they were. Mixwell doing a massive job there, getting those 2 kills and making it a 5-on-3 situation. So that's going to be the first weapon round, not going the way of Optic, so they're not getting a massive flashbacks as of yet from last night. Still early days to take the lead once again though, and they make it cleanly as well, so that's good for their economy. Optic and are still with the money to buy into this one as well, and decided to go for a bit of a default approach to play Nally, one just holding team mid and 2 in the dark halls.
So much to work with here. Now we're going to try and find some info down by Ivy. No one's really that close yet. Little and Roman are a little further back, and they do have the angle to start with, so it's going to be a little tough for either of them to get back into. But Daps and Naf can lock this down quite comfortably together. They pop flash together and actually go on a peek for it, so aggressively looking for info down this way. You can't really blame them. It's such a pivotal point, but already the smoke goes down, and Roman's going to use it well. Mans was in good position. Up by Ivy. Flash is perfect. Daps now under pressure. Going to have to try and cover the goods, and he does. That's Roman gone, so good advantage now for the CT side. And let's see what the T's now do to respond.
Yeah, the team was unfortunately they're very much alone, so there's no one to try to trade that kill. Very individualistic. Actually, now they're going to have 2 players pushing inner bomb side, which helped by Mixwell all the way back. He's not going to connect on that shot. On the Patron who gets on the bomb side, but nice shot on the Robo though to recover in that situation.
Now, Mixwell, do you want to find that fight to Little, or do you want to maybe try and play the side? Patron's staying on this side to keep the attention there, but good intuition from the T side to just know that there's going to be a bit of a stack coming in against him, so they're going to take the fight against Daps, and Little wins that, so therefore, suddenly the A bomb site is open. Little's got the bomb, though, which is still a bit of a problem, but he should be able to get that plant down cleanly, and now Patron can be the guy on the flank. So again, using these 3 players well, but they need to, again, withstand this side. Naf's found a good angle. I think Little might have spotted him, or at least heard possibly something there. So several angles now to keep under wraps, and none of them work out so far. It's down to Little, and this man is known for those beastly plays, and this would be the prime chance to show us what he's got. 1v2 now. Bomb's planted for him. This would be the ace bearing in mind, and Mixwell shoulder peeking in. He knows what he's up against, and it's Mixwell to show what he has in this round at least. Picks up 3 and the defuse, and the other important kill towards Little there at the end.
Great patience by Mixwell. They're just holding for that flanker to come in. And as his teammates started faltering on T side, he had to make a play. They got the flank and Mixwell gets the kill. He gets the last one as well. So, nice play. I think he got 3 kills in that round as well. So he's definitely coming into play this time around on the City side. Now it's going to be the second round in a row from Optic. Still money for Fluffy Gangsters to bind to this. They have an op in play on Little. AKs for everyone else and a massive amount of equipment as well. All the grenades they would need. A little already in team main, trying to get a little peek. It's on top of the 6 train. He notices one, but decides to still fall back. You know, his teammates are again approaching it by default. Nafly though with an op of his own, as we have double ops here for Optic. It's going to be the one to get the opening kill.
Yeah, maybe not expecting Naf to pick that up so quickly, but yeah, supporting Mixwell on that, so now he can or not easily, but he can certainly dominate down by Ivy, and he does get the tag and goes back again, and well, the nade does eventually finish off Chopper, the guy he tagged just on the cross through, but Little there.
Why would you try to cross that angle when you know there's an op without throwing a flash or run boosting or something else? I mean, he just tries to go to the other side and gets punished for it, and that's going to be the 2 opening kills going away with Optic now. It's only all up to Robo, Patron, a Little to make it work, and I think they're fully invested on this one, yeah, pretty much, except for Little. So it would be eco territory for them if they lose this one. Now for Optic, they need to be passive at this point. They have already made the advantage for themselves, but as I say, that rush does not comply with what I say. Decides to take a peek to teammate, and Little is ready for it. He gets the kill. And now it's doable for Fluffy Gangsters. Yeah,
and they still have a decent amount of utility towards Little too. He's got smoke, 2 flashes and a nade, so he can easily work at least some angle in towards the site, try and support the others. Patron's made it out. And it's going to be Daps and Stan to be on this side. They have to be the defenders. They have to be the bastions of this. Good nade comes out, but it's Patron to land the shot. Daps responds accordingly, but not well enough. Can't string it together, so it's back down to a 2v2. This is looking more and more possible. Patron's got the push up. He's in a good spot. But again, how much can they hold on to this? Naf's found the angle there.
2 ops with the retake as well, so I definitely need to connect on those shots. Patron, oh, he's going to get a nice headshot on the Nafly. That's all up to Mixwell, also on an op. Top of that one train, and it's going to get that kill. And the 3rd round in a row for Optic Gaming, but that got a little bit too close for comfort for sure. Considering it was a 5-on-3 rush, unnecessarily taking a peek to team main, making it a 4-on-3 situation in a bomb side push. Almost working out, becomes a 2-on-2, but it's going to be Mixwell once again with a massive impact kill. So even if he wasn't being super flashy in that first half, at least he's coming to play for the second one. Here we saw that little kill onto Rush as well, and Patron's a nice headshot on the Nafly, but then Mixwell managing to take the right angle and win that 1-on-1.
Yeah, good to see Mixwell finding a bit of consistency here for him. Little though going straight back in on this, and actually Little and Mixwell might cross paths here, and you can see that actually Mixwell was hunting that down too. He was looking for that angle on him, but it was Rush in the end to find him.
What's that play all about? I mean, you go alone into through team main on top of the 6 train.
I'm frustrated. I'm carrying.
Trying to force a play like this just doesn't make sense at all. You're just basically putting all your eggs in one basket and saying, let's go, let's see what happens. Obviously, it's not going to work out. He gets taken down. He did not really have an escape plan in that situation whatsoever. So it is going to be that 4-on-5 situation. And limited grenades for them as well. 2 Galils and 2 AKs. And
they're playing this kind of, frustrated CS may be the wrong word, but one of those questionable plays like Chopper, kind of just needlessly jumping through on Ivy, and then that very individual moment from Little where, sure, if it works out, it looks flashy and cool and, he's the hero of the round, but more often than not, you don't win those sort of rounds.
Yeah, I mean, there's basically a couple of options you can have. If you're going to have that all in play, with someone going out team in like Little just did, then have everyone else just rush inner bombs that or something stupid like that, or just plowing down ladder, trying to force a trade and just try to plow on that bomb side. Now they're going to be going inner. Mixwell opening things up. Daps to connect as well. Does he make it 2? It does not. Roman with the retaliation before Mixwell once again. Another big kill. Wow. He's definitely fired up now.
That's the play we wanted to see from him. He was very much missing in the previous game. So even at the start, it's a little slower. But now looking at the scoreline, we're at 13-9. Again, Fluffy Gangsters seemingly having kind of, I guess, bursts of performance. It never seems consistent. It doesn't seem like they can recover or...
Problem is,
I don't know, it's...
not well constructed. It's a lot about just individual skill and like players like Little trying to force plays and then people just reacting off of that. But it only takes you so far. Now it seems to be, well, they have to eco onto this one, and you already have Chopper out of team main. Meanwhile, the rest of the team is coming down the ladder, but it's going to be easy pickings for Optic. Already 2 kills going the way. Make that 3, make it 4, and a 5 in a easy manner for Optic.
Yeah, very, very comfortable. And it is quite polar opposites here, because you look at Optic's T side, they were very well constructed. They had very refined approaches to things. Now, Fluffy've kind of come into this and gone, let's just run at them, see if it works. And, well, you know, for the pistol, it didn't do too badly, but beyond that, once the guns came out to play, it became a little bit difficult. Let's see if maybe there's more in the repertoire of Fluffy Gangsters, because it looks very one-dimensional so far. I'm hoping we get to see maybe a set piece, maybe a nice play off the back of it, but again, Chopper's just going to plow our main, and it does seem as though we're again just seeing this, let's just go, let's just rush, let's just try and find something, and it's not worked out. Stan is allowed complete freedom there, just pushed up by Pop, finds Robo, finds Roman, Little still doing damage, sure, that's not too surprising, and now suddenly there's a response back. So can they string this together now?
3-on-3 situation now, and they do get the 3rd kill of the round as well on their part, and Chopper getting that one. Now it's a 3-on-2, but there's one of the CDs on the flank. That's going to be Mixwell. AWP going to team main, and things does slow down for a while. FLG just waiting for the CDs to make a move.
Such strange pacing from Fluffy Gangsters. It makes sense, but it's, you know, well, it makes sense now, but it's very hard to watch sometimes. It just seems very erratic, this very kind of emphatic style that you're seeing coming out. But looks like Daps is moving a little closer to this.
Yeah, Daps can make a play. That's when Mixwell could just come out of team main.
And the money's good enough, I guess.
And it's a 2-on-3, so you can definitely go for this. Daps does notice the player in T quad rather. But it's going to be, Daps and Mixwell both going to kill. Now they know where the last remaining FLG player is. He's going to go down as well.
That's
and
sick.
That's just going to be another round going the way of Optic.
That was absolutely sick. Credit again for the positioning coming out. I think it was Mixwell who was already around by the T side of things. So he kind of worked his way in maybe in an angle they didn't expect and that close push-up. But still, really, really well done on the retake here, considering this pacing from FLG has been up, down, left, right, center. It's been so erratic throughout this game. They'd actually held a decent crossfire, but Mixwell's position here coming back in, supported by Daps finding Patron, just kind of unraveled that nice kind of 3-player stack that they had left alive. But now, double ups are out. Naf been playing down by Ivy. Been doing pretty well with it previously. Not this time. He's been pushing down by those brown holes on B. Looking for a little bit of dominance there, and why not? Little is waiting, though, so this could be a bit of a hard battle to win. And Little has the angle first. He lands the shot. That's the basics that I expected him to approach with here. But, again, maybe a slower start to this round. This looks a little bit more well-constructed.
Well,
for now.
Yeah, exactly. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Let's see what the FLG manages to build up out of this. They have the early advantage, but crunch time is only ahead of us right now. You see the aggression from Stanislav coming in. He's going to equalize the situation, getting the kill onto Patron. Now, Robo play with the idea of just going down ladder. You have 3 of FLG players in team main, and they're just running out. Rush, the easy kill. He's going to see the bomb as well. He's going to make it 2. He does. Roman goes down, and now it's only going to be all up to Robo, and he goes down by Mixwell as well. Nice 2 kills, and that's going to be Optic with a 16-9 win against the